You know that old song that goes, "One is the loneliest number," and I'm thinking about BC recruiting right now that has one commitment for the class of 24, while a lot of other schools have a lot more than that. I'm going to explain today why one is the loneliest number, but it shouldn't be one for very much longer.
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This is Locked On BC. I'm your host, AJ Black. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you had a great week. I certainly did. We're going to chat recruiting. Now, if y'all know me, if you know what my bread and butter is on 247, it's recruiting. That's RECROOTIN apostrophe, recruiting. I have all of the updates that you want on 247. I talk to the kids, I talk to the staff, talk to their coaches. I talk to everybody, get you all the updated news. And I think I want to get into a topic that has been bothering Boston College fans, rightfully so, for about 6 months now. Now, if you follow recruiting, you follow a bunch of schools, you see a school like Penn State or a school like even Rutgers that have already landed multiple commitments for the class of 24. You look back at BC classes in the last couple of years, and by June 1st, BC's had 5, 6 recruits. And you're saying to yourself, okay, what the heck is going on with BC recruiting right now? Because right now they have one commitment. Christian Zamore, a legacy recruit because his brother's on the team, from Everett, Massachusetts. And we have not seen anyone else commit to BC. Now, I think folks are nervous about that, and I get it. But I think you need to have perspective of where things are at right now and how and the barriers that Jeff Hafley and his staff have to address to get those next group of kids to commit. I'm not telling you anything you don't know yet. BC went 3-9 last year. There is going to be hesitancy from any recruit when they see what that record has been. I don't care about 6-6. That still isn't that. I don't think that from the year before. I don't think that is as big of an impactful record. But man, when you go 3-9, recruits see that. They hear about it from other coaches. That is going to cause some recruits to say, hold on a second. Why should I go to Boston College? And that's a fair question, right? If you're planning out what your next step is going to be, if you're going between BC or a school like Wake Forest or a school like even like NC State or Syracuse who have winning records, you're going to pick those schools right now. It's easier to make those decisions because you've seen them be successful recently. BC hasn't had that. So I have said, I'm honestly, based on some of the kids that BC has moved on with and are in good shape with, I'm kind of impressed where BC is at, given that they went 3-9 last year. I think they've got some impressive kids that they're going to have on campus soon. So how is this going to change? What's going to clear this loggerhead for BC football? That's going to get a commitment, because it's been 16 months, 17 months now. Some more committed back in January of last year. We haven't seen anyone since. So what's going to change that? And I think that's going to come up in June. You're going to see official visit season. Now, if you've been following along on my site and reading what I've been writing, you know that there's been 15 to 20 kids that are going to take official visits in June. I'm going to teach you right now. If you're a BC fan and you're like, what is an official visit? What the heck does that even mean? Here's what's going on. For the last year, this class of 2024 have taken unofficial visits. An unofficial visit is something that the recruit pays on their own dime. They take a flight up if they're from far away. They drive up if they're from local. They check out BC. They go to practice. They go to a scrimmage. They meet the staff. They take pictures with the shirts. They do all that good fun stuff. That's an unofficial visit. Kids can take as many unofficial visits as they want. It's expensive for a family, I assume, but they do it, right? Now we're in official visit season. Official visits is when you take all that big pile of unofficials, and kids can take 7, 8, 12, 15. I mean, they take a lot. And they kind of pare it down. Now, there was a new ruling in NCAA that they could take as many official visits as they want. But right now, most kids are taking 4. Now, an official visit is when the school pays. They pay to ship you out. They pay you to go out to dinner, to entertain you. They pay to have you stay on campus. It's on the school's dime. Now, a school, I think it's 49 official visits they're allowed to have. BC has slotted up close to 20 of those right now. These are the kids that are dead serious about BC. And I think based off of my talking to those kids, seeing how many times they've been on campus, this is a group of kids I think you're going to start to see commitments start to pop. They're going to come on campus, and this is where the records of the staff kind of fade away, because at this point they know, these kids know that BC went 3-9 last year. They don't care. They still want to come visit. And that's when the personality and the culture of BC, which I still think, even though they played poorly last year, is very strong. There was no mass exodus after a 3-9 season. They lost kids that you'd expect them to lose. It's still strong. That's what's going to catch some kids that might come on campus. That's what's going to get these kids that are on official visits to say, yes, I'm verbally committing to Boston College. And in June, it's every weekend, starting on June 2nd, all the way to the end of June. Every weekend, BC has set it up. Other schools, I think you have specific windows that you can do it. Other schools are already doing this with their official visits, but a lot of kids are doing it in June. So you're going to see kids coming to campus, taking pictures, getting interviewed by me, and then making their commitment. I think by the end of June, if I was a betting man, BC is looking at, a class of about 17 to 20, and then transfers in between there. I'm thinking BC's probably going to get 6 to 8 recruits by the end of this month. I think that's not an unreasonable goal. It's going to be crazy, folks. And so you need to be on Locked On BC. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you become an Eagle Insider as well, because there's certain things, my insider info, I give you tons of it here, but there's certain stuff where I talk to kids, I get their quotes, I get the coaches' staff's opinions. That goes up and it comes up under a paywall. But if you want great stuff, sometimes you got to pay for it. And I make it so affordable. It only costs you a cup of coffee. So go to Eagle Insider and become a subscriber today. Now, in a moment, I'm going to open up my box. I'm going to give you some names that you're going to want to watch for that are coming on campus in June. These are kids taking official visits. You're not going to want to miss this one at all. You know what else you're not going to want to miss? Birddog. Birddog is one of our newest sponsors, and they give you apparel that fits. It's so comfortable. This is perfect shorts. Like, I got just a couple pairs of shorts from them for a Boston summer. When it is humid, when it is hot, you need lightweight, good-looking clothes. Birddog has got you covered. They give me the freedom to wear one pair of shorts on the golf course, to a meeting, out with my wife, or hanging out with friends. They all look perfect. I love them. And now if you go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege, and when you enter promo code lockedoncollege, they're going to throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti style tumbler with every order. Folks, I'm telling you the truth here. Bird Dogs is a revelation. You need to go and try one of these out yourself. Go to Bird Dogs right now and make sure you use promo code lockedoncollege. It's going to be a game changer for the summer, folks. Get over to Bird Dogs right now. This is Locked On BC. I am your host, AJ Black. So, who are some names that you want to watch for? If you're getting yourself, if you're a recruit, Nick, and I think there needs to be more BC recruiting fans out there. It is when there's no college football going on, it's a fun journey to see a kid go from just getting his film watched to getting an offer to getting on campus to taking an official visit to making his list and to seeing how BC does in some of these. And you'd be surprised. BC does better than you expect. So when we're looking at this, who are some names that you're going to want to watch for? Now, we've already mentioned Henry Hasselbeck ad nauseum. Quarterback from his Zavarian brothers, son of Matt Hasselbeck. He has not officially announced an official visit. I'm giving you a little bit of a insight analysis here. He's coming on campus. I've heard an official visit, though the date I have not been able to confirm. He's going to come. The dude on your camera right now, who's got quite the mean mug, I have to say, it's Chris Leno. And he is an offensive lineman from Washington. And he's going to be on campus. He's got a couple West Coast schools he's looking at and BC. I'm telling you, Matt Applebaum has done a nice job with some of these offensive linemen. I've heard a lot of folks getting on Applebaum as only going after projects. There are some kids that he's got coming on campus that are solid recruits with good offer lists. And I think BC's in good shape. Leno's a good one. And I'll tell you why. He's from the West Coast, but his sister goes to BU. Maybe he wants to come to school out with where his sister lives. That's obviously a chance here. He's already taken an unofficial visit. He's going to be taking an official visit. And he's a guard. I think he's a guard that I'd be watching for if I were you. Okay. He's one. Another name that I want to watch for is Ronnie Royal. You like 4 stars, folks, right? If you like 4 stars, hit it up in the comments. Give me 4 stars in the comment section right now. Ronnie Royal is from Alabama. Looking at this picture of him, he looks like he's 25, but he's a high school senior. And from everything I've heard, he's down to 2 schools. He's a 4-star. And the 2 schools aren't like Penn State and BC or Michigan and BC. It's NC State and BC. And NC State's, yeah, I get it. They're in better shape than BC. But he's a defensive back. I will take a team that's a little better than BC. I'll take BC over that team with Jeff Hafley recruiting and Azar Abdul or him. He's taking an official visit. 4-star. You guys have been asking about the 4 stars. A 4-star from Alabama. Hard-hitting defensive back. He'll be on campus. Watch out for Ronnie Royal. Okay. And if you're not listening on YouTube, go over and check out on youtube.com and hit that subscribe button. You'll see some of these recruits that we're talking about because, there's some big names out there. Another name is, he goes by TJ Gray, but if you look at him up on 247, it's Tamarcus Gray. Another wide receiver from Texas. Darryl Wyatt, the wide receiver coach for BC, has been going hard in Texas for some of these wide receivers. I think he just offered one tonight. What's his name? Trey Griffin's another wide receiver from Texas. Darryl Wyatt probably has the most juice going on the offensive side of the ball right now in terms of wide receivers. Tamarcus Gray is from Texas, and he's got some decent offers, but I think BC is his only official visit right now. I like where BC's standing. Unless some other school just kind of like jumps in and like tries to snag him, I'm thinking crystal ball soon for Tamarcus Gray. Let's see how this visit goes. And that's the big thing, right? How do the visits go? Do they have a good experience? Do they like where they're going? Do they like I mean, he's gonna have to travel. That's a big deal, right? So that's another one. And so I gave you 3 new names to watch for. I am the Eagle Insider. I am humble bragging here, but if you want insider info, I'm your dude. I am your dude. I got it all, man. I got it. And I've been hoping that if you are enjoying this, you follow us on everything, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. Now, I don't have Blue Sky yet, but you know what I'm saying, right? You want this insider information because June is going to be fun. It's a quiet month in sports. It's you got the NBA finals and NHL finals coming up, but unless your teams are in it, some of us are like, what's going on, right? There's nothing else. Watch some early season baseball going on. I like where BC's at. I am impressed with their official visit slate that they have coming in. And I think there's more and more names coming out. Every time I turn around, I see another tweet or I get tagged by one of our national guys for 247. And it's a guy that I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I like that. I like this guy. So if you want that, head over to Eagle Insider and bookmark the page, folks. I want each and every one of you to bookmark Eagle Insider so you're over there too. So this is going to be a big moment for BC because I don't even know what their recruiting rating is right now. And I honestly don't care because it's one recruit, but it's a chance for them to change it. Now, I want to look at your comments because I see a bunch of you commenting right now, and it's all Marty Party. I didn't even notice it. Yeah, Marty Party says some of BC Eagles' best early recruits have fled before signing day. Yeah, I think that's one thing about Jeff Hafley's staff is they do an excellent job of targeting guys, but it's BC, and sometimes it's hard to keep on to them, right? And so we're going to get into our final segment in just a moment. We're going to get into Lacrosse continuing to impress by blasting the Fighting Irish, while baseball, they can't hold on with Notre Dame. We'll get into all of that in just a moment. This is Locked On BC. I am your host, AJ Black. Thank you all so much for all of you who have listened every day and made BC Locked On BC your everyday experience. You are our everydayers. I love you all. You guys are the lifeblood of this podcast. Now, you all folks, my bread and butter here is football, basketball, and recruiting. I got a soft spot for the women's lacrosse team. I don't get a chance to watch them as much as I want to because I'm one guy that runs a BC site but has a day job, and I can't do all of this, right? Women's lacrosse had this team is a freight train right now. They played number, I don't even know what Notre Dame's ranking was. Someone's going to yell at me, but they won 20-6, and they're heading to the Final Four for what seems like, I don't know, 6-7 straight season. They're a unit. Acacia Walker-Weinstein is making the argument to being one of the best coaches BC has had in any sport. She's given Jerry York a run for her money because this was a game where BC was supposed to, we're getting into the Elite Eight in lacrosse. You're expecting like a close battle. BC was up by 15 goals after the third quarter. They were smoking them. Belle Smith had 5 goals and 8 points. Jen Majid had 4 goals and 3 assists and 7 points. What a win. Again, this team, if you're into lacrosse, and I love it when I get to watch it, but I don't get to watch it enough as I want to. Best team on campus, and it's not even close. They're the best team. They're the best team the best program in recent memory, right? Now, who's next? It's Syracuse. The Orange, a team BC beat on their way to the ACC championship. They're going to have to beat them in Kerry in their Final Four matchup. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. And then let's head on over to baseball. BC baseball was at home for their first of 3 games against Notre Dame, and they lost 4-1. Notre Dame, I think, scored like 4 unanswered runs. BC's bats just went silent. BC is 10-16 in the last 26 ACC games. This is a tough. They're in a tough rut right now. Now Friday's game is the ALS ALS awareness game at Fenway Park. That's gonna be a fun game if you get to go down there. Anytime you can watch BC at Fenway is worth it. And Saturday is back home, and I hope. My plan is I'm going to take my son to this game because he wants to go, and hopefully, if get to watch that. But it sounds like it's going to rain. Please don't rain because I want to go. But that should be it, and then we'll find out what the ACC standings are going to be. Right now, if BC doesn't win this series, it sounds like they're going to be in the same pool as Wake Forest. Whatever, BC's got to win these next 2 games because they do not want to be in the ACC tournament against Wake Forest. They got to get out of that. So 2 straight wins is what BC baseball needs to have. Thank you all so much. I'm heading out. I will be back on Monday to talk about recruiting, talk about women's lacrosse, talk about everything going on with BC sports. You all know where to find me. I'm at AJ Black 247 on Twitter. You can follow me on Eagle Insider. Hit us up on Instagram, wherever, and hit that subscribe button and like this episode on YouTube if you're listening or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you all again on Monday. Take care, everyone.